Hey guys, it's Trish, and I would like to talk to you about my experience with Christianity and how I got into it and why I left it. And how I got into it, my children were growing up, and I was a single mom, and I was getting into that empty nest syndrome. So I started kind of panicking, and I wanted family, and I wanted a close family. So the idea of love and kindness and all that appealed to me when my husband, he wasn't my husband at the time, but when I met him and he took me to church, and that whole idea kind of like sounded like really nice and all roses and butterflies. But after I got into it, that is not what I got. And um, it was absolutely a horrible experience for me. And I was really seriously in the religion and believing what I was reading in the Bible and what they were saying in church. And it was just crazy. And what I did see was that the people, they were saying one thing, but they did not live how they were saying that they lived. And my husband was like praying all the time, but he was like really bad, and he had was on drugs, and like he kept it from me. And I didn't know he was on drugs when I married him, but he told me before it was all over that he was on drugs and he didn't want to tell me when we got together. So, so it totally exploded, and by the time it was over, I got hurt. My husband seriously hurt me with his in a moment of violence and extreme violence, and I had to be taken out on a helicopter. And before all that happened, about 6 months or so, my sister was also a Christian. So I was telling her, we've missed something. There's just something that we've missed. There's I haven't got. There's a missing piece to this puzzle. So I started thinking about paganism, and like I asked the question to myself, which this is supposed to be evil if you do it, because you're not supposed to question in this religion. You're just supposed to accept it. Like you're not allowed to ask the questions. So I started saying, what did the pagans know? Because obviously their paganism was here before Christianity. So I like started getting books on Christianity and how it spread across the world, and I'm reading these books. I'm like, something just don't sound right. It just don't sound right. And the whole time something's telling me, go back to the old ways, like screaming to me through my, like, the best way I can say, my heart. And so I thought it meant like the Old Testament. So I kept going back to the Old Testament trying to figure out what it is I need to know. And I just kept hearing it like in my soul, go back to the old ways, go back to the old ways. So I started getting these books, and it still was not answering my question about it. Just felt like there was a missing piece to the puzzle. So I started getting pagan books, which is a no-no in Christianity, because my question was, what is it that Christianity did not want me to know? What is it they're afraid of me knowing? So I started reading the books, because I felt like they knew something different that I wasn't getting in Christianity. So then I'm trying to figure it all out, and I knew something was going to happen. I didn't know. It felt like the end of the world was coming, and then that's when I got hurt. So then when I left the hospital, what happened, I was burned with propane and a lit piece of paper. So I had to be airlifted. And so when I come home, um, so when I came home, I was went back to the Bible and I read it all the way again the third time from cover to cover to see what did I miss, what did I miss. And I was stuck in the house because I had third-degree burns on 20% of my body, and I didn't get grafted because they said I was healing so quick. And so by the time I just came home and I was like, I didn't have insurance, so I was sent home with open wounds, and I had to like put this cream on me and change bandages every day. And so I was reading the Bible and I was stuck in the house by myself, and I was like really terrified because I didn't know if him or one of his friends was going to come and hurt me again, and like if he was on these drugs, and if maybe they thought I knew something I didn't know, because I didn't get in his business, because honestly I didn't, because I didn't want to know, because if I knew what was really going on, then I would have had to do something about it. And so what I did, I went and I researched it again, the whole Bible, all the way again, and I still didn't get my answer. And so I started like getting more books, and I even got like I got me a Kindle Fire, so I started like downloading these books on paganism, and then I decided I was going to look up Satanism. So like at first, like I was like really scared, because you're taught that if you do it, the devil, it's really the devil, right? And so all this evil is going to show up, and in the span of that time, I was seeing things, and I could hear things and see things. Well, I'm Irish, half Irish, so it's probably goes back to that fairy and fae kind of thing. So I was seeing the stuff, and we've always seen it my whole life. It's not like been like this big deal. It was unnerving, but it wasn't terrifying until I got into Christianity. Then it was terrifying, because the Bible teaches you that that stuff is evil, and don't believe it. So when you believe evil, evil shows up. So that's one big thing that I learned. And if you show up to fight a devil, the devil shows up, people, and it's an energy that actually shows up. So, so I started reading books, and I downloaded, like when I saw this Satan stuff, and so I'm like, oh, I need to know. I need to know. So I had to like clear everything and not be afraid. And so I cleared it out not to be afraid, because I knew if I was afraid, bad things would show up. So I I downloaded it on my Kindle Fire. And what I did learn was that Satanists actually use the Bible as their, I guess, their Bible, and to show how their religion is the true religion. So that was kind of like weird to me. And I found out that they have a set of morals that are kind of like to a higher standard than even the Christians say that they have. So that was like really kind of, and then, like Christians will say they worship the devil and they like kill people and children, and I didn't find none of that stuff. And but um but anyway, I was like watching a documentary with documentary. Sorry, I'm country, but with on Netflix, and it was about Native Americans and their life and everything. And there was like this, I don't know if he was a chief or a medicine man, and he was like, a lot of people, white people, are coming to his culture to find out about their belief, because Christianity wasn't working for them. So he was like, some Native Americans did not like to share it because it's their culture and they don't want to share it, and it is offensive if for you to ask them. That's what he was saying. So he said, uh, go get your own culture. and go look at for your own culture. Go find your own stuff, because that is really your heritage, not Native American heritage. So I was like, okay, but all the information says there's no information. But what I did find is if you go look, you find it. You will find it. It is not burned, even though they tried to, the Christians try to burn it, it did not get burned. It's still there. And so I found a lot of information on my own heritage, and I found a heritage that you can even be proud of. And like we came from tribes just like Native Americans and other cultures. We were actually a tribe, and we got to wear the feathers and the antlers and the skins, and like just like they did. And we had ceremonies and around the fire just like a Native American. So it was very kind of refreshing for me to understand my own culture and where I came from. So that's when I decided to turn Christianity loose, and I found my own culture. And the honestly, um, in this Celtic culture, um, a lot of the people are witches, and it's kind of like weird because all you hear in society is how bad witches are, and that is absolutely not what I found at all. And I think Christianity scares people into believing something that isn't really true at all. And my family actually does witch stuff, and they don't even know that that's what they're doing. But because I went and I enlightened myself to understand my own culture, I understand that is what they're doing. They just don't understand it. So, and I don't really talk about it with my family because the stigma on it with Christianity, because even if you're not a Christian, it kind of permeates our culture, and it pushes beliefs that may not even like be your beliefs, but you believe it because you're kind of forced to believe it because it's the right way to believe. And that's why I got out of Christianity, is because for me Christianity was not the truth. It was a Jewish religion. It came from the Abrahamic God. It's not where I come from. And I was walked up and out into a religion that was not of my own heritage. And when I was hearing go back to the old ways, go back to the old ways, I kind of feel like it was my ancestors telling me, go find us. And that's my story about religion and Christianity and finding my own way. Thanks for listening. Bye.